Judaism is a culture deeply affected by legal categories. It's not enough for a Jew to know what to believe and how to behave. Beliefs must be concretized in daily acts. It's one thing to understand, for example, the Jewish commitment to tzedakah. It's quite another to put money into a box for the poor on a daily basis. The Torah commands us to behave in certain ways in order to make our lives distinctive, both distinct from other people's and from the lives that we would otherwise lead. And so in the Torah portions we are in the midst of reading this time of the year, we have a number of different laws in a variety of categories which aim to shape our behavior to reflect our values. The Torah's laws are typically phrased either in the positive, you shall, or in the negative, you shall not. Torah tells us to do certain things and to avoid certain other things. But this week in Parshat Tetzei, we have the appearance of two unusual mitzvot, each of which commands us to remember, to forget. The first of the two says, when you reap the harvest in your field and overlook a sheaf in the field, do not turn back to get it. It shall go to the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, in order that the Lord your God may bless you in all of your undertakings. So, when a farmer was reaping the ripe produce of a field and a sheaf of grain was mistakenly left behind, they were to purposefully forget about it, allowing their mistake to become a blessing for those less fortunate. The early rabbis called this kind of giving to the poor shichacha, forgetting, albeit a kind of forgetting that must be done on purpose. The second time the Torah commands us about memory, it says, remember what Amalek did to you on your journey after you left Egypt, how, undeterred by fear of God, he surprised you on the march when you were famished and weary, and cut down all the stragglers in your rear. Therefore, when the Lord your God grants you safety from all of your enemies around you, in the land that the Lord your God is giving to you as a hereditary portion, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget. The Torah is commanding us, every time we read this passage each year, as well as on Purim, to remember to forget. Blotting out the memory of Amalek is, like the shichacha, the forgetting in the field, an act of purposeful forgetting. I once knew a man who had escaped from his hometown in Germany as a young man, as a youth during the Shoah. He ran away against his parents' wishes to hide in the forest when the Nazis came. His mother sent his father to find him, and he did indeed find him in the forest, but his father pretended not to see him there and went back home alone. The young man escaped the war and survived. His parents did not. The moment at which his father looked the other way was an act of overlooking on purpose. Like the shichacha in the field, or like the memory of Amalek, there are some things that, if forgotten, will make the world a better place. We cannot confuse these acts with willingly overlooking our responsibilities, or looking the other way when it's our duty to confront wrong directly. But in some rare instances, not doing what we would ordinarily do can mean feeding the poor, remembering ultimate evil and therefore preventing it from happening again, and even allowing a future to unfold despite personal regret into a chance for life. Choosing to overlook, remembering to forget is tricky. It requires us to know what our responsibilities are, how to fulfill them, and how, just once in a while, to fulfill them by not doing what is typically required. Shabbat Shalom.